It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
Somewhere in Podcaster Valley, it's in the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 2832. I would like to ask a question of you. Have you told your friends about this podcast? Maybe bring it up in a conversation. Say, hey, baby, I was listening to this podcast. It was really cool. Something like that.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
You can use your own words in that particular dialogue that you would like to do. So, hey, tell your friends.
Mike's.
Guess what? You know what?
Daily.
I am so
Podcast.
absolutely flustered doing this podcast. I love doing this podcast, but at the same time, oh my gosh. It feels very, I don't know. So, okay, let's say one day you discover a beautiful new pool. And you go, oh, I'm going to jump into this pool and I'm going to swim around. It's going to be great because I have it all to myself. Okay? So you jump in the pool and you're swimming around, you're enjoying it. And all of a sudden you notice, you look around and there's a bunch of other people in the pool. You don't have it all to yourself. No. In fact, you're sharing it with a bunch of other people and everyone else is having a fun time. And they're having funner times than you. So you get out of the pool and you look for a new pool. That's kind of how I am with podcasting at the moment. Even though I've done Mike's Daily Podcast now well over a decade, I'm at episode 2832. I look around, I see the other people in the pool, in the podcast pool, and I go, what the heck? This pool could use some chlorine. What is going on? What? It needs a lot more chlorine. There are some people doing podcasts that should not. And it is very ironic because at the beginning I said, I think everyone should try and do a podcast because we need more voices out there. But unfortunately, it's been diluted.
And here's today's podcast picture.
It's been diluted so much that there are really no podcasts that stand out except for the ones that are hosted by celebrities. Then everybody's, oh, wow, LeBron's doing a podcast. I'm going to listen to it. Oh, wow. But the other guy, the celebrity, the comedian, he's doing a podcast, etc. So my point is, what is the point? Why do I keep doing it? Jeez. Don't know. But if you hear another splash, it's because Mike's found another pool. And the late great Basil the Boxer, he did not like pools. He did not like to get into pools. He maybe went a little bit kind of if it was a lake and there wasn't too much of a wave, not too much of a chop, he'd walk in and walk around and he enjoyed that, but didn't like waves. He didn't like jumping into pools because they were super deep and that freaked him out because he was a boxer. And boxers have that smushed face and it's tough for them to breathe. But the podcast picture, let's hear it for the podcast picture. Woo! Is a wonderful hike that I was doing over the weekend in Podcaster Valley, up in the hills of Podcaster Valley, and you can see that beautiful sunset and scenery, and stuff is starting to get brown. The hills are getting that nice shade of golden yellowish, and everybody, this is the thing, we never win in California. Oh, the weather's so great, of course we're winning because of the weather. No. There's always some other problem. Taxes are too high. Oh, hey, we got a lot of rain this year. That's good. No, that means there's going to be a bigger fire season. Oh, we didn't get a lot of rain this year. Oh, that's bad because we're going to have a drought. Everything leads to something bad, is what I'm saying. But did you know that the U.S. average vehicle age has hit a record 12.6 years? Let me explain.
Wow.
Cars, trucks, and SUVs in the U.S. keep getting older. Now, the age of a vehicle has hit a record high of 12.6 years. People hang on to their vehicles because new ones cost too much. That's been a problem for a while, ever since COVID. In fact, my vehicle I bought used during COVID, and he had to do it online because you couldn't really meet with people, and there was a place that had a deal going. My suggestion to you is try that. Try different websites. Do that sort of research. But the average U.S. new vehicle selling price...
The Newsbleed section.
That's right. This is the Newsbleed section. And this Newsbleed section says that the new vehicle selling price is about $45,000. That's the most recent one last month. And many can't afford to buy new. New car loans had an average term of about 69.50 months. That equates to 6 years. The car loans last an average of 6 years. It's prohibitively high for a lot of households now.
The Mike tip.
Here's my other tip. Prices are down more than $2,000 from the peak. Yes, car prices are actually down from the peak, which was in December of 2022. That was a particularly rough year for me. I was thinking about that. I lost my mom.
Mike ripped someone a new one.
I lost a cat, and I'm ripping someone a new one who took the cat. It may not have been a person. It probably was some kind of animal, a coyote. But I lost this wonderful cat, Rodler, whom I posted pictures of. So that was all in the miserable year of 2022. And car prices were up $2,000 from today. The average monthly payment...
I just want to thank everyone for joining us here on this show. This is great.
Yes, because we can find out what the average monthly payment is for a vehicle, a new vehicle. $762. Sales are expected to hit around 16 million this year of new cars, up from 15.6 million last year. And the previous year, 2022, was at 13.9 million. So it is at a peak. Good news for the repair shop. About 70% of vehicles on the road are 6 or more years old.
For your entertainment.
Oh, no way.
The
What?
one, the only.
Oh, thank you.
Mike Matthews.
How do you do that with your voice? Yes, about 70% of vehicles on the road are 6 or more years old, and they are beyond manufacturer warranties. O'Reilly and AutoZone are doing really well. They have beat estimates. So, there you go. That's where we sit with autos. There is now new weight loss drugs, as you know. This is a big thing this year. And weight loss drugs use has soared amongst kids and young adults as we go outside a Café Anyway.
Mike's Scavenger Hunt.
Where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valleyton, the last place on earth in the land of Ameritopica. Searching for all these amazing topics. And the new weight loss drugs use has soared among kids and young adults.
Ridiculous random.
It's no surprise. I mean, forever kids are on social media and they're seeing how people are thin and good looking because they get the most views. So that's the algorithm that gets pushed to you and they want to look like that. It's nothing new. We used to have that problem back just with television and magazines, TV.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Yes, my review is that nothing's new. Nothing's new, but in a different way. It's what we had has been changed, morphed into this internet app, smartphone world. But millions of older adults are clamoring for drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy.
Random.
And saying, I'm trying to find drugs to fight this disease called obesity. Monthly use of the medication soared in people aged 12 to 25. Soared between people that are teenagers, not even teenagers, to their mid-20s. What? That's going to cause some problems. I mean, I'm guessing some health problems in these young people. I mean, even if you're older and you're using that stuff.
MTV News. You hear it first.
Yeah, people would watch MTV go, oh, I want to look like that guy or that girl. Or, it's the same, only it's changed. It's morphed into TikTok. Well, if you stop taking the drugs, you get the weight back. That's the little present to you. Nearly 31,000 children aged 12 to 17 have been using these weight loss drugs. 162,000 people aged 18 to 25 used the medication in 2023. Last year, people between 18 and late teens, starting college,
The Myclopedia in Seneca.
into their mid-20s. This is what the Myclopedia in Seneca is finding. Over 162,000 people were using these weight loss drugs last year. About 20% of U.S. children and adults and adolescents, rather young adults, and about 42% of adults have the chronic disease known as obesity. Still, just a fraction of that population is getting treatment. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommended that obese children and teens be treated aggressively, including with surgery and medication. Commercial insurance covered care for nearly 44% of the younger
Pretty
kids.
interesting.
And about 2/3 of those who were older. Now, I don't know if you don't stop, if you don't take the drugs, though, you get the weight back. So we have some really messed up diets these days, and we don't leave the house. We don't go walk. We don't take walks, and we don't exercise. So that could be a problem if we don't keep doing that into our 50s. I definitely need to walk more. I definitely need to eat better.
Matthew's News.
My news to you is I'm definitely not going to take those drugs. But do you know, speaking of drugs, more Americans are using marijuana daily than drinking alcohol. And that statistic you probably heard for the first time has gone above. So marijuana daily has exceeded drinking alcohol daily for the first time as recreational weed becomes legal in more states. An estimated 17.7 million people reported using marijuana daily, compared to 140.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Actually, 14.7 million daily. So 17.7 million people reported using marijuana daily compared to 14.7 million daily with the alcohol. Alcohol is still more widely used, but this is about daily users. Buy now, cry later. U.S. online shoppers used BNPL, buy now, pay later,
Baloney.
for nearly $20 billion worth of purchases in the first 3 months of this year alone. That is up 12% from a year ago. 1 in 5 U.S. households use the buy now, pay later platform. That global market could grow as high as $700 billion in 4 years. And your snail mail can smell like a Parisian bakery, not a Parisian, but a Parisian bakery. And you can buy French Post Office's new scratch and sniff baguette stamp. It's a baguette. It's a stamp, and it sounds like an Emily in Paris marketing campaign, but you can get those now from France. And it's Mike Matthews with that news. I am the producer of Rob Black's podcast. I got that from Rob Black. I produce his podcast, and he does a show on the radio on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings. And he's also on Cron TV in the 9 o'clock hour, Monday through Thursday. All those fascinating factoids that you are hearing on this particular podcast. Look who's outside a Café Anyway somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Hi, Mike. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing? I brought my horse Dilly. Hey, it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what. What? I don't eat French fries no more because they're from France, and I don't like France. And I don't like, what was it called, a baggie? I don't eat those. So I just stay away from French food. I only eat the German food, like hamburgers. Uh-huh.
What in the world was that about?
It's a baguette. Have you ever had a hamburger on a baguette? That's pretty good. Look who else is here. Hello,
Oh, man, I can make delicious root beer. Here's some right now.
You seem really happy and excited. Let me try your root beer.
Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
Wow. That's amazing. What's in there?
I put some French water in it. Period. Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
I did it. I drank it. I did it. Thank you. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. If you would like to call in and comment on anything we commented on today with our comments, you can comment away. We have a segment called Emails from Email and your comment not so comments, where we feature your comments. And to call, this is the number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640. Will ya shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Foam for All.
And with more ways to contact me, it's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!